Well, AEW just wrapped up their last show in Jacksonville. Now they're going to start go on tour next week. But this show was special in every way, for the main event being MJF facing off against Sammy Guevara. The TNT is on the line between Brian Pillman Jr. and Mero, and many other things that took place. Also going to throw in a Joshi promotion based out of Japan. This one is run by the current NXT UK Women's Champion Meiko Satomura. The promotion's called Sendai Girls Pro Wrestling. So, let's begin with another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Jay Roddier. So, today's AEW Dynamite was really good. As you know, this is the last show they're going to have in Daly's Place right before they go back on tour. Their stop will be in Miami for Road Rager. So it's going to be an awesome show. But however, this is about today. So let's go from start to finish. As you know, the entire show, Chris Jericho joined a commentary group as a fourth member, which was fun. I like how he talks, when he's like being total ass about it, but that's how it works. Now, the opening match was for the this is a tag team, this is an eliminator match for the AEW tag team title between Eddie Kingston and Penta taking on the Young Bucks. Now, this match was pretty good. I really liked the opening. Now, the best part came out is when you thought that the Bucks were about to have everything under control. The Good Brothers provided distraction with the ref, but it did not go exactly according to plan. The uh, Penta got rid of Nick Jackson as possible. He was about to get air sprayed by Brandon Cutler, but apparently he misfired and shot at Matt Jackson, but the Elite Hunter showed up to give the helping hand. But of course, it was Penta who picked up the victory and allowing themselves finally to become the next challengers for the AEW World Tag Team titles against the Young Bucks next week in Miami. Now, as you know, last week the main event between Jungle Boy and Kenny Omega was one of the best matches. Christian shows up to give a words of encouragement. He's well aware that the Jungle Boy is a huge star, so he's telling him one day you will be champion. There's no guarantee about that. However, he then met, of course, his buddies, the Dinosaur, Luchasaurus, and Marco Stunt. But apparently Christian said, and I thought it was funny, that he's half something dinosaur from an ant site or something. I'm like, wow, I would not have pictured that, but it kind of was funny. I don't know. I would like to see more of this story build up with Christian and the rest of the Jurassic Express. Now, this next interview was coming from Ethan Page. Apparently, last week Ethan set up a match for the coffin match between him and Darby Allin. I like how this story is going. Ethan is irritated. He's sick and tired. Wherever he goes, Darby Allin takes the spotlight, and he thinks he doesn't deserve it, he doesn't earn it, he stole it from him. However, it appears that things were going his way, but Sting shows up with a coffin of his own that had Darby Allin. Now, Darby Allin gouged, what's his name? Ethan Page, while Sting did the Scorpion Death Drop on Scorpio Sky. But however, Ethan tried to play it smart, thinking that Darby Allin is not 100% ready. that he's going to postpone this match until Fyter Fest. So basically, he's being a runaway coward, which that's what he does. He doesn't want to face. He's always been like that. If you guys recall with Impact, he's always been there was ever since that he and Josh Alexander lost the tag team titles, they think they were unprepared against the Motor City Machine Guns. But that's how it was. So a kind of similar method, but except it's only for singles competition. Now, next match we have Jack Evans versus Jungle Boy. It was a good match. However, this was a special match because if Jungle Boy won, he becomes the first wrestler to make the 50 win mark. Basically, he has won 50 matches in the course ever since he first joined AEW, and that's a great accomplishment out of his part because he is young. We all can believe he's the most potential person, and he pulled it off when he pulled the snare trap on Jack Evans. But however, the Hardy family office showed up to give a beatdown. But however, Christian and the rest of Jurassic Express gave the helping hand. So this feud between Christian and Matt Hardy is far, far from over. Now, as you know, MJF has not been a happy camper. Basically, he wants to get rid of Jericho and Sammy Guevara. But we don't know when that match between Jericho and MJF is going to happen. But we do know that the main event between him and Guevara is happening in the main event. Now, Andrade made a special announcement since last week he was interrupted by Matt Sydal during a match that was supposed to happen. He said himself to be at Miami to take on Matt Sydal, which is going to be huge because this is going to be his debut. Now, Tony Schiavone called out Kenny, saying that he has beaten everyone that comes in his wake, that there's no challengers, that he's thinking about taking some time off. But however, the Dark Order showed up and reminded him there is someone in the rankings who's at the top. And that person is Hangman Adam Page. Now Kenny doesn't think he has what it takes. They're saying that he's doing this for they're doing this for his battles. However, at the later on in the entire show, Hangman questions why would they do this. Now, initial assumption that they think Hangman thought he probably thinks, he's scared of Kenny. No, but Colt Cabana and the rest of Dark Order made a very compelling argument. They told him, look, we know you're scared that you may fail, but that's what makes us better. We learn from our mistakes, from losing. Even Uno says, look, you know I lost, but I gave the performance of a lifetime. So everybody in Dark Order is officially trying to tell him, you can do this. This is your time. And if you guys know this or not, when it comes to matches like things like this to happen, there's always a tease. And that tease always happens in being the elite. Now, if you guys don't know where I'm referring to, let's go back to that. A couple weeks ago, there was a segment where Dark Order, along with Hangman, were hanging out. They must have been on drugs. But there was a moment where the Dark Order were waiting for Hangman. Inside of a bag is the AEW World Title. Now, what does that mean for us fans who follow? Is it possible we could see Hangman Page finally becoming the champion that we have been waiting for a long time? I would say it could possibly happen. We don't know if this is going to be soon, but can't wait to see it. Now, let's get to something else that's going to take place. The TNT title between Brian Pillman Jr. and Miro. I have to say this match played well because it put Miro not only as the top guy, but however, putting Brian Pillman over. We hardly see him as a singles competitor. He's always been a tag team competitor ever since he teamed up with Griff Garrison. But I think this is giving him the perfect opportunity to get his feet wet. And I think he did a hell of a job facing Miro. But however, Miro got him in that camel clutch and it was over. Now, recently we have been seeing this tension between in Team Taz. As you know, Team Taz have been having problems between both Ricky Starks and Brian Cage. So Taz decided to settle this once and for all. He said on July 14th in Austin, Texas, the FTW Championship will be on the line between Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. This is going to be interesting. Now, is this the sign as fans that we know who follow the story? Could Brian Cage be kicked out of Team Taz? It is a possibility. I'm not saying it's a 100 possibility. Like, I'm not saying it's a 100% chance it's gonna happen. We have seen where teammates normally fall apart, and not completely where they have to kick out one person. So, excuse me. So anyway, if this is gonna be that time where Cage will be eliminated and removed from Team Taz, then it could happen at any given moment. Now let's get to the the women's tag team match. We got Vicky Guerrero and Nyla Rose. Now the against Britt Baker and Rebel. Now this match, I have to say, it turned for the worse for Rebel because apparently she got injured. She torn a kneecap, from my understanding, but it managed to proceed to give Britt Baker the winning opportunity. But however, I think they covered it up because they had a way to move Rebel out of the way where Nyla Rose power bombed her through a table. I think that was the proper way to ensure they can try to get her out of there because I don't know how severe is the injury, but we know we could expect that she could have. We don't know if she needs to have surgery, but anything could happen. But all we can do is hope for the best and see how it goes from there. But also, if you guys want to know, Britt Baker put Vicky Guerrero in that lockjaw, and it was already done. Now, the final match was MJF versus Sammy Guevara. I have to say, this is one of the best matches, and I have to say, Sammy really, really impressed me a lot. And I have to say, if you guys know this or not, WWE never believed that he would ever make it in the wrestling business. Some say that he didn't, that it's not for him. Sammy didn't care. And I have to say to whoever was in charge of the tryouts, who said he wasn't good enough, and people who said when he was working as an extra, look at him now. He main evented this night, and this was one of the best matches he's ever done as a singles competitor against MJF. It was really good. So, WWE, you screwed up. You allowed this guy, who is a very talented wrestler, and you should have known he was in. And I have to say, best match I've ever seen with Sammy. But unfortunately, the match turned to the worse when Spears and Wardlow come out to cause the interference. And it led, because as you know, Sammy's feud with Spears is still going. Spears think that Sammy is not a hero, that he is the true hero. But we'll see when that match will take place down the line in history. But like I said, this is a really good show and a special one. It's time for AEW to start going on a road and give fans some really good wrestling right now for 2021. Okay, so this is the first time I reviewed this promotion, Sendai Girls Pro Wrestling. This is based out of Sendai, Japan. It was formed in 2006 by current NXT UK Women's Champion Meiko Satomura. So she was found achievement and success in 2000s with the women's promotion Gaia Japan and the male and Jinsei Shinzaki for the Michinoku Pro Wrestling. So she's the only one who had the experience, and she also served as a trainer and a booker for this promotion. Now, I have heard the name Sendai Girls. Many people have trained there, including Amelia McKenzie, who's been in that promotion when she did tours in Japan. Sasha Banks actually trained there during her time when she was feeling unhappy with the decisions that took place with WWE, what was it, 2 years ago, regarding the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. But it's a good promotion. Somebody probably say, but isn't it Meiko Satomura part of WWE? Yes, she is. But somebody was saying, are they going to buy Sendai Girls? It all depends if that's the case. You got to remember that's a different story that's going to be happen. But if it does, then I'll be the first one to pull it out as much as possible. But right now, let's go with the first thing that happened. Meiko Satomura gave a promo in the beginning of the event. It was all Japanese, but there is no translator or subtitles to know what happened. But I'm assuming people are happy to see this match. This event is called Big Show in Niigata. This took place on the 27th of this month of June. The first match was the Sendai Girls Junior title between Yurika Oka and the champion Mei Hoshizuki. It was a very interesting match because I don't know who these girls are. Now, keep in mind, there are some names I may have mentioned, others that don't. But this match was okay. Not gonna say it was worse or bad. It was okay. It was fine. Didn't know who these girls are, but I can tell you it was Yuki Yurika Oka who put up the pin. Not even Hoshizuki couldn't believe it. So basically, she won the title. So it was a title exchange in this particular match. Now, next match we have Sakura Iroda and Kaoru taking on Raiden Agani and Iger. Now, Iger is a very interesting character. She's like the Dawn of the Dead type. There was a bit of comedy in this one. It was really good. I think there have been many videos of this person, but however, the match ended with Hagen pinning what's her name, Sakura, and it was the 1, 2, 3. It was over, baby, just like that. Next up, we have is a 6-woman tag team match. We have first team Naname, Mika Iwata, and Ryo Mizunami. Now, you know Ryo Mizunami. I mentioned her many times over, but it's not over yet. Naname, I've heard that name in either Ice Ribbon or World Women's Pro Wrestling in Pro Wrestling Diana. I'm not sure, but we'll see. Their opponents is Ayame Sazamura, Hiroyo Matsumoto, and of course Aja Kong. Really good match. I think I have to say, um, it was a really good match, but I was surprised that somehow Matsumoto was gonna pull off the victory. I was like, wow, it's pretty good. Matsumoto is a veteran. She's a freelancer. Great wrestler to watch. Uh, but it was great. I enjoyed it. Next match we have is for the Sendai Girls Tag Team titles. We have Rin Kadokura, who is part of Marvelous Pro Wrestling, and Mio Momono, who we've seen at the Hanakamura show, taking on the champions Team 200 kg, Yu and Chihiro Mashimoto. It was a very interesting match. I don't know much. Like I said, I only know Rin because Rin and Mio from two different occasions. Rin, I've seen her in Stardom on a few times, and also her name is part of the Marvelous. But that's pretty much it. I wasn't expecting a whole lot, but it was a good match with the champion team being a bit bigger, but somehow Rin and Mio overcome it by pinning the champions. It was a good match. I enjoyed it. Now the main event is a intergender tag team match. We have one team, Nanae Takahashi of Sealing, taking on Jinsei Shizuko from Michinoku Pro Wrestling, taking on the King Minoru Suzuki and Meiko Satomura. I have to say it was a pretty good event. Reason I say this is because you got it was revealed in later on that both Suzuki and Satomura are dating, and it's kind of very fun to see that they're doing something really cool. Even if people say don't know this, but it was a real fun match. I love it. And however, it was Meiko Satomura who put up the victory. It wasn't Minoru Suzuki like I would have hoped, but it didn't, and it kind of put her on the spot a little bit. But I enjoyed this event a whole lot. I hope I get to see more of Sendai Girls. Don't know if I will ever see it again, but for now, I'm just going to say I approve this one, and it's a good one to watch. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Watch me review AEW Dynamite and also Sendai Girls. For the next episode, we're gonna do Got to Moves for the continuation of Oak Tag League, and of course, New Japan Pro Wrestling's Casino Road, NXT UK, and of course, Impact Wrestling. That's going to be the next episode. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next DWC time, same DWC channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang!